Who remembers the little packet of wet naps from KFC? The Student Companion, Suncrest, Bravo, Tropicola, RC and Coke sodas in the bottle. Not only does he remember, but he has kept these artifacts in a little museum along with clippings of newspaper stories that go back all the way back to 1966. An offset printer where he operated the print shop for the Lowe's Hotel on Paradise Island, where he dedicated 40 years of his career. He was born in New Providence, Bahamas on March 19, 1953. He grew up in the Valley on Mount Royal Avenue. A photographer of historical sites and an archivist in his own right, he is passionate about what he does and he deems it a gift from God. In this episode of Bahamian Heritage Series, Mr. Arnold Wilson.
Hi. My name is Arnold Wilson. A lot of people know me as Arnold Ramin because I was brought up with foster parents, which is George and Vera Ramin. But I've always been a Wilson. My father is an American.
Okay.
He also was a part of the Negro League baseball team in Fort Wayne, Indiana. My mother is from Clarencetown, Long Island. But in those days and a lot of other days, that a lot of Bahamians went over to be housekeeper. And my mother actually was a housekeeper. That's how she met my father.
Okay.
But through all of my younger days, everybody knows me as Arnold Ramin. Throughout my whole school, and I leave school.
Mm-hmm.
And this hobby of mine is God's gift to me. Mm-hmm. Ain't no ifs about this. And I will never say that, oh, I know this. Because some stories I have now that I don't know the reason why I kept it.
Mm-hmm. What is your date of birth, Mr. Wilson?
March 19. I just became an official senior citizen in 2023, March.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so, which made me 70. So I am an official senior citizen.
Wow, you don't look that old. What year were you born?
1953.
Okay, all right. And where were you born?
I was born in New Providence.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All of my siblings were born in New Providence. Like I said, my mother, I'm the last.
Mm-hmm. How many children did
4.
Okay, and their names?
There are 4. The eldest is Beryl. Second is Edward Ramin. Third was Sammy Ramin. And I'm Arnold Wilson. I attended the, first of all, it was Sutton Senior. I think the name is Columbus Primary. I started at that. So I'm quite familiar with the story and personal hands-on with Collins Wall, because we had to cross that.
Oh, wow.
To get to school. At that time, the road was already break through, but the school is right next to it. So we knew exactly about climbing the wall to go over to Mason's Addition, because we had a cousin living over there. So I'm familiar with that part of it.
Where did you grow up? Like which street?
Well, we call it the Valley. All right, that's it's on Mount Royal Avenue. And why I think what the information I got why we call it the Valley, because we were between the two, like East Street and Farm Road, and then Camp Road. So we were in the middle. Which there might be different versions of why I call it the Valley, but that was the version I knew of. That
is the house that you lived in still there?
Still exists.
Okay. Where exactly was it?
It's a cardboard house. It's on Montreal Avenue, 10th Street.
So you lived on that other side of the wall?
I lived on the eastern side of the wall.
Okay.
All right. Where I live is almost just about a block. 2 blocks to be exact, from where I live to the wall. Because the wall, you still can see a portion of the wall on Gibbs Corner.
Right.
Right? Exactly. And I live on Montreal Avenue, which is the second traffic light from Gibbs Corner.
What were you taught about that wall?
Well, there was always a lot of stories until I came across a story in the newspaper saying how the wall was built and why it was done. It actually was a plantation, but we had different views about people. They want to keep the black people out. It was a private plantation, which means he just walling his property. But people forget That's just how it was.
I did a documentary too, and I was emphatically told that he walled in his property, and that was all it was.
It. I read the story with Clifford Dollar, his book, and he mentioned how that wall was built, because there was a lot of people from the Family Island. It's built for employment, and they built the wall. How they were paid now is a different story.
Yes.
They were paid like in food items. A lot of them was paid in food items. But it was a plantation.
Right.
And the walls still exist now today.
Yes. Many portions of it still exist.
Still there.
Yeah.
They're still there.
So you didn't live far away from the wall, and you didn't
Correct.
go to school. You had to climb the wall to get to school.
No, not at that time.
Not really?
The school was, the road was already break through.
Okay.
But I had to climb the wall if I wanted to go to a certain, like Mason's Addition, to a certain section.
Okay.
You had to climb the wall to get over, because the ladders were still there, and even the steel in the wall is still there. That's what you had to go on. And it really was adventurous for us at that time, as young children.
Right. Okay. So after you finished school, what happened?
Well, I got a job in this hotel called Lowe's Hotel, and they had a policy. Mind you, now I've already started collecting, because I have stories from 1966, and there was a picture that I just showed you, a whole newspaper supplement when the Queen Elizabeth first came to the Bahamas. We were still in junior school, and we went to Clifford Park to greet the Queen, and we singing the old Great Britannia, and that was the instructions.
Right.
And I still have my flag right now today.
Wow.
And it's right in the back of you that you will be able to see. This is the flag.
Oh, wow.
And down there, like I said, I can take the cover off this and I'm feeling. That supplement is actually the supplement with 1966. The date is on it, and this is the flag, what we were waving at the time.
Wow, February 28, 1966. Okay. So after you stayed at Lowe's for how long?
My full career, I stayed at Lowe's Hotel. I mean, mind you, they changed names, quite a few names at the time.
Right.
I mean, since then, I started in 1969. I still have my original calendar with my employment.
Where was Lowe's Hotel?
It's on Paradise Island.
Okay.
It was it was built in 1967 because the bridge was completed then. It was, and then the hotel was completed in 1967. Because mind you, the restaurants over there, but you had to catch a ferry over there, like Cafe Martinique. You had to catch a ferry until the bridge was completed. And I stayed there for 48 consecutive years.
What did you do there?
I was an offset printer. I used to operate the print shop. It was only for the hotel that they supply all the stationaries that operates the front desk, housekeeping, the cashiers, and then a lot of things come in, stationary. I just put them in order that the departments will have their supply. Then it grew. Another person came in and they updated and bought some more modern equipment, a full computer shop, but it was only me one. Because it was a job of keeping the shelves stocked.
Right.
All right. It wasn't you come down as you feel like, and I want this for the more. I mean, that might have been the case sometimes, but you knew what you had to do because you have to keep the shelf stocked. So when the department needs a certain thing, it's on the shelf. So that's the reason why it was always like a small operation. But mind you, the job, the weight increased over the years as the hotel add on to different sections, and then they sell it, and then it came to Kirshner, which was more hotels. It's the same items, it's just more items was being produced.
Right. Okay, so do you think maybe some of your, I guess, I don't know, with your talent or your, whatever you do now, your gift of saving artifacts and old items, did that kind of start from that job, from what you did, or not really?
No, because I was keeping clippings before I started the job.
Okay.
Like I said, I started the job in 1969, and I started the clippings that I have that I showed you from 1966.
Okay, so you started this years.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I keep saying this is God's gift. And you could think about any category that I will have something on. I have a category that I call unusual. And people have a lot of pets or bananas, and at one time I have a family who had triplets, which it was a very rare.
Right.
And have stories. I met two of the families because I made it a point to go and look for them. One was in Grand Bahama, and one was in New Providence. The other one I haven't made contact with. I mean, they told me where I might find them, but I just never made that contact anymore. And I also got into photographs because after keeping these clippings, I got into taking pictures of things that interest me. I don't take pictures of people. Scenery is what my love is.
Okay. I bet a lot of those scenes no longer exist.
Exactly.
Right.
Plenty. That's why in my book I have a section that I refer to as historical sites. A lot of the hotels were here, like the Emerald Beach. They were all down now in Montague Beach. I was around there. But this is really, that covers a lot of track and field. A lot of track and field. I don't know those people. I'm just trying to reach out to them right now. Whoever I've said that, oh, I know this person. Softball, baseball.
Cynthia Pratt wrote a book.
I have that in there also.
She could have checked with you for some information for that book, some pictures and stories. Right?
Well, I mean, I know her personally.
Okay.
But I bought a book to go along with her story. And that, right now, I just add to whoever I have.
Okay.
And there was a lot of people. Because first of all, that 1966, after I started to work, and later on, I was collecting more stories of the people in the area where I live, in the valley. I have a whole lot of pictures and stories with people in the valley whom know me. They might never met me, but they know who I am, and of that nature. It isn't like we were friends, but as long as you're in the valley, I will cut it out and put it in. That's why I have the selection. Has so many acquaintances. That's why I label them as acquaintances. Photography. I entered the Chamber of Commerce one time ago in 1983. I won that competition as a.
So you even have something on yourself?
Yeah, occasionally my love is soft, but I mean my talent never developed. But I have some things. There's a whole lot of ball players don't have.
Okay.
About themselves, I have.
Right.
But my talent just never developed to be. But I love the game, so I have a lot of baseball and softball and. That goes back.
So what did you do to collect them? Did you just purchase a paper every day?
Exactly.
And then you took stories out of them that interested you?
And like I said, when I started working with the company, the paper used to come to me automatically.
Okay.
And that just kept me because they had access to current information.
So did you always clip out, or did you to some point keep the whole paper?
I keep the whole paper. There's a supplement. I have a supplement like for the Tribune or the Guardian. I have a whole 4 pages of the Guardian from 1971. I just made clear to them that, listen, I'm not selling anything or giving anything away. I just want to share this information.
This is history.
Exactly.
Yes.
I went down to COB because they have a section there that houses all of Celindon's information. I have some things on there they never said. I had made a courtesy call on Mrs. Penland at the time, and she was the governor. And I showed her, and I think she was just blown away because when people make courtesy calls, it's about them. But what I showed her was about her.
All right. Arnold Lee Wilson, archivist, paid a courtesy call to the governor, General Dame Margaret Penland. Mr. Wilson, a collector of newspaper clippings since 1966, was proud to share his large collection featuring Sir Lyndon Penland and the Penland family, which extended as far back as 1968. Wow.
It came off quite well. I mean, it never made the newspaper because I was trying to, because I have a lot of stories from everybody else, but don't really have any stories about me. I mean, very little stories. I wouldn't say any stories. I have very little stories about myself.
I see you even have stories about your wife.
Oh, yeah.
Melinda Wilson.
Right. Just, of course.
There's plenty stories.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. It's like 3 folders, actually, you know, with her stories. Yeah,
So what year did you get married?
1994.
Do you have children?
I have one son.
Okay. What's his name?
His name is Kenley
Okay.
Wilson. But, I mean, I didn't know it then, you know. I mean, but I have a lot of stories, whatever it is that she was in the newspaper.
So, what else did you collect besides the paper and the paper clippings? I noticed you have here some, what I call them artifacts.
Yes, exactly. When we had a first exhibition, professional baseball game with the Bames, his name is Henry Williams, he pitched in the exhibition. And that's the ticket right there. It's 1968. It was at the Sports Center.
Right.
And all these bottles down here, people could identify with Suncrest and Tropicola and ROC, and it's...
I remember, and Bravo, remember that? Yes, look at that.
And I have a tendency of just...
The old Coke bottle, everything in cans nowadays.
And also that there, that's a salt from Minag where I was down there, and I got it as a gift. And that there's a little
old time
sharpener. In school used to be on the principal desk. And I mean, you probably might know anything about that, but that's how it is. Independence, I have a whole lot of stories with Independence. July 10, 1973. And it just kept going.
8-track player. And the telephone directory, and you said that you have telephone directories from
1969 to 2023. One of each.
Wow.
I just boxed them up.
Is that music up there?
Yeah, they're all albums, they're LPs, like 80 minutes. And my favorite artist is Earl Clue. I met him when he performed on Paradise Island. But, that was years. That is actually his first recording. But I met him in the 90s. And,
so how, I mean, do you, I mean, it seems as if you have shared a lot of what you have saved with the persons that, you know, it relates to.
But there's a whole lot of people I've never met. A whole lot. It's like the Golden Knights.
I see Rick Fox too.
Yeah, Rick Fox. I want to meet him one day to show him what I have. Michael Thompson, I have stories with him when he was in college, when he was picked, when he was drafted. It just, like I said, it was information. It wasn't about the person.
Information that makes history.
Exactly. And there's some people
Traffic
I never showed them because they might believe it was all about them. So who else was in the valley? And I'm trying to put it in some order now. Because I had a tendency of just cutting it out of the newspaper and putting it in a box. Right now I'm just putting some things in, like in 2000 into this book form.
Well, the monastery closed after 114 years.
This is so informative.
Yes, it is.
I just put them in the put the newspaper in a box. Above you see that I write on a box to be filed. They're the boxes that I haven't filed.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, this is huge, and I really want to.
There is, yeah. There's. I think there's a lot of potential here for what could be really a big thing in terms of history. You know, in the making. Persons who want to know more, to be able to see it and read it and learn about it. You know, it's so important to know our history, because without doing that, we won't know where we're going if we don't know where we came from.
I just want to share it. I don't need to take this to my grave, really.
Right.
You know, I want to share it. That's why I'm trying to reach out to some organization, and I find that people who have interest in it is the one they want. Don't know if I have something about them. Other than that, they have no interest in knowledge. In hearsay. And like I say, all these buildings has gone. They're gone for good. And there is no, there's nothing posted up there where these buildings used to be. And like I say, this.
What would you like to see happen with everything that you have collected? If you had it your way, what would you want to see happen in terms of making use of what you have taken your time and years to produce?
My whole heart was set on having a building, but a vintage building. But over the years of collecting and finding out from other people that there's very little interest in people who wanted to see these things unless it's about them.
Wow.
If I have a story with them, okay. After they didn't see that, that's it. It's like with musical groups. I have 2 folders here with groups from in the 70s and stuff. You know what I mean? And there's a whole lot of artists who were around then, who are not around now, that I could show a picture of themselves when they was with this group as such. But I really I don't want to put it on what they call cyberspace. See, because I want to see people's reaction to when they look at these things.
Right.
But I also discovered that there's a lot of lack of interest in one history. That's why we repeat so much things in this country. When I see these things come in the newspaper, like they had a display with all these guns, the same year. It was the police had a display on the table. And I showed one of the police, and I showed them the story. The same picture from 1988. Did the same thing. But they had one in 2023, and that was like a big deal, but not knowing that this happened before.
Yes. And it's repeated itself.
Exactly. There's a lot of things that when Linda says something to me about something, and I will tell you something, I have a story on that, you know. And then we'll go back and look at it and say that it's the same thing, so what has changed?
We're just going around in circles.
Exactly. We have not improved on the situation. It's like with the Jitney situation. I have a story with this Archie Nairn when he did a story. And what I did, and then when Hannah Martin came in to be in charge of it, it was almost like the identical story. And I put it side by side. I have it right in my book. We keep talking about these things, but nobody really make any changes. You know, it's just, you're just pacifying the country.
Yeah, it is important that we go back and look, because if we could just see where we were, we may not repeat some of those things, because we could think, okay, been there, we need to fix this. And I think what you are doing will at some point make the difference. I mean, sometimes you do things and don't know why, what is inspiring you to do it, but I believe there's a purpose, and I think that purpose will be fulfilled.
Yeah, but the individuals need to care.
Yes.
They need to care. As far as they're concerned, this is just a job.
It's going to come to the point where they will have no choice but to care. And unfortunately, it's probably not going to be a good time.
Yeah, well, we probably wouldn't be around.
Right.
But, you know, we used to like, that's why, like, these things don't sort of like face me anymore now. Like something happened. You know, I said they're making such a big deal out of this. It's like with Bahamas Air situation. They been having the same problem, and I got a whole section that says Bahamas Air. Whatever took place, any dispute. I have a section with ZNS. I mean, there's a big folder. Whatever dispute, and it's just different faces come in, and they do the same thing over and over again. And this is something I really, you can reflect on and say, "But oh, we already did this, and let's make changes." We talk about it.
Right.
Okay, let's make it clear. I don't keep everything,
right,
but I have a whole lot of things.
Pertinent stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I can go and look at it. It'll take me a while, as you can see, how many folders I have with history, which meaning I'm trying to put it in some order right now. Put a name and put an index. That's my challenge.
Okay.
Because every page, some pages I have like 2, 3 stories on one page. Different, but it's the same topic, but just different stories.
Right.
So it'll take me a while. It's taken me a while by putting this together, because I told Linda, because right now, like, I'm up to like about 2,000 clippings.
I see the horse track.
Yeah, the horse track is there also. hobby horse track.
That was really a lot of stories about the horse track, and that has since gone away.
Yeah. I don't go and research stories. Whatever I see in the newspaper at that time. So don't ask me to go and research, because I don't go and research. It's what interests me. I saw in the newspaper.
Right.
So there might be a whole lot of things that people have, and they might think I should have it, well, because I don't go and gather information later. When I was in the newspaper, I go and get it and put it in a box, and later years later, but getting older now, so I can't think but no years later.
But what you have done is quite a bit. I mean, you know, and it probably does cover the most pertinent. If it interested you at the time, then it was probably very pertinent at the time. So it would, you know, key stories, things that people may be interested in. So I'm really excited about it, and I wish I could sit down here and go through every one of these and just look through them.
But if I get a place that I could display my stuff, then I will get help to put them in order.
Right.
Because eventually these things will probably fade away, but people also, but they can go away. I have a clipping in my grandfather was a boxing instructor. So I have my father gave me some stories with Joe Louis. I have clippings in my category that I got from him in 1938 and 1943. It's still in this form because nobody handled it.
Right.
As you can see, every story that I have, I put a sheet protector on it. So when you're looking at it, you know, you wouldn't destroy it.
Right. Because newspaper don't wear well.
No, that's why I did that. And I had, that gift was given to me, so I did that at a very early stage. Only the big supplements that the whole page is a challenge. This Flamingo Airlines. This is 1971. You heard about Flamingo Airlines? When it all started?
I heard about it, yeah.
This is the whole supplement. Which opens up. See, it's falling apart now because...
What year was that?
It was December 11, 1971. And it's the same supplement. There was another supplement I have with the Guardian. The same thing when they were celebrating with the Guardian. I have it here. I made an attempt to show it, like I said, to this person. Ben Kelly's was on Bay Street, and when I get started on this, but this is like I said, this is my passion, and I just want to share it. Into the business.
Right. What year was this paper produced?
1970. December the 29th, 1970. Which makes it what? 53 years? No, but no.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So, the Candia Dames did a story this year, and I told Linda, see if you can make contact with her, that I would just like to show them, because it was a supplement also. I have it somewhere, I throw a bit because, and all these are people who used to work with the Guardian at that time. This was a newspaper came up. This was the whole paper for that day. There was only one fold. Apparently they had some mechanical problem, and I wrote down there, this is all today's newspaper. One fold. See, this
what year was it?
1981. It was just 4 folds. That was the whole newspaper. Because from my history, my trouble is I don't remember these things until somebody mentioned it. Like I will never be able to start a conversation on these things. Then somebody mentioned it, I said, I have that. That's
right.
That's something that
it's just too much information.
It is too much.
Too much. Okay, so tell me about this shirt that you're wearing.
Well, this shirt actually was designed by my wife. I was celebrating my senior year, which was it made me 70 in March. So she got a lot of the clippings of herself and myself, sent it off, and had the fabric made. And when it came back, I made the shade out of it and the pants. For my birthday at the time, which actually was a surprise. It really was a surprise party. But I didn't know the plans were until 2 days before, because she had to tell me because it was raining that day, so she had to change the location.
And this was your 70th?
70th birthday.
And when was that?
This was in March of this 2023, this year.
Okay, turn around, let me see.
There's you can see some of the prominent people who...
Yes.
Mother Pride is on it, and
oh yes, and I see
Mrs. Penland is on it also.
Right. Very nice.
Yeah. So this is something that you can go in the store and buy. You can't go buy this. It's not for sale.
Right.
Yeah. It came out quite well. And at that time, then she had one of her students who was a fence force officer escorting me into the room. You know, at the party at the time. It really was.
That's excellent. It's always good to do those kinds of things when people are still alive.
Exactly.
Good memories, great
I have
memories.
a story with Freundly Palmer. That was a big thing. When he became 70, it was in the newspaper, it had a whole page. I mean, I have the story with that also, but I was just making a point that it's a milestone.
Yes.
That's what we were promised. That's God promised us.
Yes.
So you have to be thankful, very much thankful, that you get that age.
Mr. Wilson shared story after story of information that he has collected over the years. He continues his work of collecting and archiving newspaper clippings with the hope of gaining the interest of Bahamians who are passionate about learning the history of our country. His God-given gift is something that he will continue to passionately pursue. Bahamian Heritage Series salutes Mr. Arnold Wilson as the legacy continues.